Good morning and welcome to a fresh episode of Let's Talk in this 2021. I'm sure you all had a wonderful New Year's Eve and you're all enjoying holidays. Today I have a full house pack. We're going to be talking about Brexit. Now let's have the agenda. We're going to be talking about Brexit with two very good personalities from UK directly. One is Lata and then there is Neeraj Chawla, who's a very good businessman as well. Then I'm going to have Movie Mania, a very dynamic, handsome actor, Sean. Then followed by Grandmaster of Taekwondo, Mr. Rai. And then my correspondent, Malika Sothinathan, went to Sangur border, Delhi border, and talked to farmers. So she's going to be talking about that, along what all she recorded, she's going to be playing here. So let's have Brexit and let's have Lata and Neeraj if they're in the studio.
Hi, Ifna, how are you?
Hello, beautiful people. So nice to see you.
Pleasure.
Okay, thank you so much for agreeing to come on my show at the last minute. I know you both are very, very busy, but I had to do this on Brexit because I realized a lot of people around the world are not aware what this Brexit is all about. People in North America, people in certain part of South Asia as well. So I decided to start my New Year with this only. Okay, let me introduce Neeraj. Neeraj is a managing director at Universal Delivery Solutions. Here he has over 20 plus years of experience in express parcel delivery and has offices set up in UK primarily, with partner office in Spain and alliances in many parts of EU and other parts of the world as well. He's one of the finest entrepreneurs. As his friends say, he's very prompt and is very committed towards his client and business. What he says about his company can collect and deliver anything from a small letter to a large consignment anywhere in the world at a very competitive price. So we're going to test sometime soon, Neeraj, when we're going to bring a lot of our gadgets from other parts of the world. And then I have Lata Gulapali. She's a wonderful friend. She's an investment banker by profession, specialized in mergers and acquisitions. She's worked in South Asia, Russia, and UK, and advises companies on financial restructure and capital raising. I'm sure she's going to get a lot of business in the Brexit time now. And she has education in corporate law, financial strategy, taxation, economics, among others. She's a chartered accountant and a chartered financial analyst. Okay, let's have a video. What do you have in the video for us, Rahul?
Just as we have avoided trade barriers, no. So we've also, no, Mr. Speaker, I think that plenty of members want to speak, so I've already taken plenty of interventions and points forward. I'm going to make some progress. Just as we've avoided trade barriers, so we've also ensured the UK's full control of our laws and our regulations. And there is a vital symmetry between these two achievements, because the central purpose of this bill is to accomplish something that the British people always knew in their hearts could be done, and yet which we were continually told was impossible. We were told we could not have our cake and eat it. Do you remember how often we were told that?
Okay, that was it. So British exit was the withdrawal of United Kingdom from the European Union and the European Atomic Energy Community. Till date, UK is the only and first country to formally leave EU, that is European Union, after 47 years of membership within the bloc and after having first joined its predecessor, the European Communities, on 1st January 1973. So it's almost thought to be the first country to withdraw voluntarily from the Economic and Monetary Union of countries, though you can never adopt a euro. So, after years of campaigning, infighting, and elections, Brexit is now a reality in the UK and Europe. Let's go to Neeraj and ask how is he gonna be benefiting? He's got office in UK as well as in other part of Europe. Over to you, Neeraj.
The business for us is definitely a good benefit because there's going to be more business in terms of we specialize in custom declarations and custom brokerage from worldwide, and Europe was never a part of it because Europe there was never a custom brokerage required because it was a free movement of goods. But as of 1st of January 2021, everything which moves in and out of the Europe is going to be treated as is going to India or USA, which means you have to do a custom declaration when the goods leave the country, and you have to do custom declaration when goods arrive in the country, which means there is a more business for people like us because there are now 28 countries added more into that part of the declaration where people are sending goods to the UK and sending goods from UK to that country. So yeah, it's in terms of business is good thing to us. There is nothing I can say bad about it.
And your alliances in Europe? You got another office in Spain as well.
Yeah, so they're also going to get benefit because the stuff which we used to send directly from our offices in Hong Kong and India and US, which used to come to UK and then used to travel into Europe, we're going to be now doing direct flights from those countries into Spain and doing all the custom clearance over there and then distributing goods from there into the rest of the Europe. Although that kind of gives us a little bit of a negative impact on our business because it was coming to UK first and then getting into the Europe. But I think for what we have gained to what we're going to be losing is kind of counter-react to each other.
That's something really nice. I'm glad you're gonna be making more money. Over to you, Lata. What do you think? What is your opinion? How are others gonna be benefiting or losing especially in UK?
I think UK as an economy, it was the 6th largest in the world. Yeah, some 2.8 trillion pounds was the UK economy for a population of 66 million, and Brexit particularly has impacted services like financial services, which is probably what would be most relevant for me. Services segment itself was 3/4 of the UK economy, right? Its financial services was contributing, let's say, 7% of GDP. And almost 50% of the trade surplus was because of financial services. There has been no agreement for financial services when we left the European Union on the 31st. Banking particularly, there were 5 separate areas where like any British bank, for instance, could provide services to European companies, European institutions, or even individuals. We were allowed core banking, which means retail. We could have accounts, we could take money, we could take deposits and all those things. We could give secondary market, that means we could give financial advice services, we could give market instruments to them. We could do payment services, that means we could arrange for money transfers. We could design, distribute, collect investment products, which was again something more specialized. We could do alternative investment funds even. So like out of these 5, none of them, and we had some arrangement called passporting. That means if one country of the European Union allowed us to do those services, all countries in the European Union would have the same level of service, which means we were treated as if we were one of resident in those countries. Same laws, everything was the same. So it was like transacting with a British bank, for instance, internally. It was that simple. Passporting was the arrangement as it was called. Now we are moving to something called equivalence. Equivalence means each of those countries, each of those banks, each of those institutions has to agree that the UK is equivalent in terms of legal and procedural or transactional or regulatory, everything actually. It has to agree first. And that equivalence only applies to not only that particular country, it also applies only to that particular segment. For instance, if I have equivalence, now we have agreed equivalence for, let's say, settlements, because UK is one of the, is the international financial settlement. That means you can transact anywhere in the world, settle through the UK clearing system. That has been agreed to continue till 2022. But nothing else can be done apart from clearing. Clearing doesn't mean deposits. Deposit doesn't mean something. I'll give you a simple transaction. We syndicate a loan. That means banks group with other banks to provide a loan to some company, let's say in the EU, which wants to set up a new factory. Earlier, I could just go and do it. I could do anything. I could not only give them a syndicated loan, I could even allow them to hedge their interest rates. I could allow them to hedge their funding requirements, and I could do all currency risk, everything I could allow them to do via my bank. All divisions of my bank would do all these services. It would come as a package deal, and there was no problem. And I would earn commissions for it, different kinds of commission. Now, I cannot do any of that. Firstly, I have to get equivalence. Even if I get equivalence, supposing let's say the owner of that company comes to me and says, I want financial advisory for my personal assets, to help me invest my own monies, or, let's get me more tax efficient, or whatever it was. I can't do it because retail is anyway not part of this deal. It's never going to be part of any equivalence. So at least for the time being. I mean, I don't know how future negotiations will work,
Definitely.
but this is how we are. So given a simple transaction like a syndicated loan, which is part of anybody, I mean, if I do a single M&A deal, which is not even a large size one, I will be looking at syndication. I will be looking at financial derivatives. I will be looking at currency risk. I will be looking at pretty much cross-border. Okay, UK never adopted the euro as currency. But having said that, it was part of the European Union. So we are all dealing with, we are dealing with each other. And UK, has London particularly, had set itself as the biggest financial market. It's taken on par probably with New York, Hong Kong, London. Even London was, let's say, a few steps ahead of all those. Every company which had a share issue or anything, bonds issue, anything, wanted to list in London, because we are also market makers in the sense we allow other buyers and sellers, we allow them to come and trade on our floors. And essentially, we are making a market. And all that gives, not only generates revenue, it makes us the biggest financial trading hub or the financial center for the world, which we don't have anymore. I mean, we don't know. 1.2 trillion of assets have already been moved to Europe. It is not.
I also believe that in the coming time, the immigration, the manpower who are coming and working in the UK, it's going to affect too. Maybe people are going to realize in coming time. Maybe other businesses. Neeraj is blessed. I'm guessing he's already making a lot of money in COVID. COVID has been a boon for courier and parcel and freight businesses. So he's blessed that he'll be making more business, and I'm happy for him.
I would agree that it's good for business which are looking at, let's say, customs or other regulatory things. But it is probably, perhaps, like he himself said, more efficient for them to get it internally without going through the UK. They can just transact in Europe, get all their business into Europe and out. His company as a whole might make money, that's great, and it might be offset. But having said that, what happens to the business in the UK if people are not going to come? Like, for instance, the biggest haulier who does 4,000 trucks a day or something. Yes. He's like, I'm not even going to go. I've parked all my trucks for the next 2 weeks because I don't know how these procedures are going to work. Dover alone, which is 26% of imports into the UK, has said that they will have 260 million customs forms to deal with in the coming year. I mean, they don't have the manpower to do that. Also, like you say, manpower has become so essential because the EU has decided not to recognize. It's also UK. The UK's qualifications are not recognized anymore. So if I'm an accountant here, I can't just walk into Paris or Brussels or anywhere else. I can't go and do any transaction there because none of my qualifications is recognized there anymore. So I have to first go and pass all these exams.
Okay, let's talk to Neeraj again.
Yeah.
So, Neeraj, you must be having other businesses, other friends who are into business. What
Yes.
is their opinion?
So I was a Brexiter, so I supported Brexit.
Mhm.
The main cause for my supporting Brexit was to control the borders. I think to having allow 27 countries to come and visit your country without a visa is an opening to a lot of troubles. To point. So I think my issue with Brexit was that it has to control the borders.
Yes.
As long as the second thing which I come back to, you guys said about the manpower and everything, I don't think we're going to have any shortage of manpower.
Okay.
What the problem is that we have enough labor coming in from India, Australia, Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan. There is enough labor there who is willing to come and work as hard as what Europeans did, or they are doing it at present. The point was they were not allowed to come because there was a tier system or a point system and everything else, whereas European could just walk in and work in the country without applying for any work permit or anything else. I believe that that was completely unfair. I think now we are on a level playing field with all the countries in the world. We take Canada. Canada had a deal with the rest of the Europe of a free trade deal. Basically, anyone who imports from Italy or France or Spain into Canada, there was no duty to be paid.
Okay.
When that deal happened, UK did not get that deal. Not sure why, but if let's say if you buy 100 pair of jeans from Italy and you buy 100 pairs of jeans from UK, the jeans coming from Italy into Canada will be need 0% duty. The jeans coming from Canada to UK or from UK to Canada will have 8% duty plus GST, which was so now UK is in a better situation where they can do trade deals with another 47, 50 countries on its own to give each other a benefit. What we always did was we always looked at the market, which was right next door to us and it was easily available. What we ignored completely, that there's a whole lot of a world there who has doing a lot of other things, a lot of better things, but we never looked around and said, well, hang on a second, I know it might be 4 hours additional on my flight time, but I can get a better deal, right?
Yep.
Yes, I do agree. There's a lot of holiers, truckers who are going to have a problem initially, but
I have to come there. The level playing field we have now, we have left the European Union, but we have not we cannot really negotiate with other countries yet because we have left with a level playing field. The 660 or 68 billion trade deal we have with the EU says clearly that we will not upset any of the laws that exist and make the level playing field. We want access to that single market, and they have ensured that we access the single market by not jeopardizing the European markets chances with any other market. So we cannot go and negotiate with Canada or anybody else for any deal unless we upset the European Union. And the moment we upset the single market here, we are going to have tariffs imposed. That's what they've said. And
that's right.
I mean,
only for 4.5 years, but at the same time, there is nowhere said that now UK cannot go to Canada and have a deal with Canada just because EU already have a deal with Canada. I mean, Boris Johnson is already going to India.
You can have the deal. It's just that if the EU finds that that is in some way coming into the single market, it is definitely going to not allow anything to impose on the single market. I mean, we have to be aware of that. We're not saying that, oh, the whole world is not open. It's like our Prime Minister says the whole world is open and Britain is such a great country. I mean, Britain is a great country. It has institutional strength. It has capability. It has manpower. It has everything. But Britain has also entered into this Brexit, what is it called? The deal which we left the European Union on was not a no deal. If it was no deal, we can just go tomorrow and negotiate with the whole world. But we have left with the deal. That means for 5.5 years, we have to continue fisheries. For 3 years, we have to continue with settlements. We have to continue. We have not negotiated data transfers. All these things have to be negotiated.
Yes. So my one question to you: how can you guys forget one important information is the criminal data, which UK was sharing with.
No, that's the thing. We have 3 months now to negotiate financial services and data. Hopefully, we will have, because you know what? When we had these attacks in UK, the information did come from a European agency. So that's how close it is. UK is the cutting edge as far as spying or data or espionage or all these services go, all these functions go, which are so key to keeping us safe. Not only us, but the world at large safe. But only when working with Europe, because the data transfer between our agencies has been that close. We have worked as one, and we don't have an agreement on that either. So there are so many things we can upset before.
It will come with the time. It will come with the time, because, like I said, any change when it happens, it is always going to be for a good reason. But yes, change is very, very hard to accept.
We started with immigration as a problem. But immigration was such a serious problem, no doubt. We had I wouldn't even say workers coming in. We had people coming from India and many countries on student visas, and they had no intention of studying here. But they were being given 75% rebates on their tuition fees, and they were just here. They were not intending to study. I mean,
but they've changed that.
I am really enjoying this conversation here. I can very well say Lata is a financial expert and Neeraj is an amazing businessman who knows only how to make money, and he's doing wonderfully good. God bless you both. Thank you, guys. You were wonderful. It was so nice to have you in my studio, and I wish you best of luck to you both. It was very, very, very nice to have you, and hope in coming time you both progress. People in Britain progress. People in EU make good money. And you all are safe. Let's see in coming months what this Brexit deal brings to all of us.
We have hope.
We have to wait and watch.
Yes. And with this, I end this. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thank you so much, Neeraj, and thank you, Lata.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. That was Neeraj and Lata from UK directly. It was a wonderful conversation, a wonderful debate. It was a pleasure having both of them in the studio. Let's see if I have that handsome, good-looking actor in my studio. Hello, Sean.
Hello.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be a part on my show, Sean.
My pleasure.
Okay, can you increase your volume? I can't hear you.
My mic on?
Yes. Yes, I guess I can hear.
Now you can hear?
Yes. Pardon me if my pronunciation is not up to the mark at any place.
What's that?
I said, pardon me if my pronunciation is not up to the mark at any place.
No, I lived in India for a few months at one time, so I'm familiar with that pronunciation as well as others as well.
Oh, I know. I read in your biography and I was delighted. I said, wow, this man has traveled to Japan, lived for some time in India. Mm-hmm. So he's been exposed to Indian culture, Japanese culture, and he's from North America. And look how wonderful he is. Okay, let's have a video. Let's see. Let's show the audience your acting skill.
You're losing it. That's what it is. How many times have I told you there is a world out there just waiting to be discovered? It's all fine and well to be ready to punch and run, but that won't help you if the aliens who are keeping us in here, against our wills, mind you, continue to drain our mental energies.
And they are not draining our mental energies. That's laughable.
Oh, the great Wendell speaks.
In fact, I'm counting on that.
Yeah, Wendell, you haven't been here with us at all. I need your help.
I'm going to help you, Billy. And you, Gustav. But I need you to trust me.
How do you propose we get past the gates of this facility? And the ton of 8-foot-tall guards that are like mixing alien with a machine?
That's why we will be sneaking around in the night. Going out that window.
That's the courtyard. Where most of the beasts are anyways.
Exactly. They will never expect us to try to make our way out.
Wonderful. I wish my production team had picked something with more music and with more action. You were such a dynamic personality, good looking one. Okay, what was there that at the age of 11 and 12 you got so attracted and fascinated with this film industry and you decided to join? It's a very tender age to do that.
What? Well, I mean, I guess at the very base of it, you could say there was a Michael Caine biography.
Hmm.
My dad and I watched, and we decided to call the local community theater.
Hmm.
And somewhat miraculously, the woman showed up at our door like within 45 minutes,
Hmm.
and she had all the papers and that. And I'd understood that there was like a 45-person waiting list to get into the youth group, but somehow I got right in immediately and was in the next play. And then, I mean, well, and even before that, I was making little films with my friends and stuff. And so it's been an interest from the beginning, for sure. Even dancing to Michael Jackson in my diapers.
Very well said. I'm loving it. Okay, you have a lot of upcoming feature films, and there's one which kind of attracted my eyeballs. That's Flames of Fury.
Hmm.
That's the intense and dramatic life of a woman who was torn between her past as a sex slave in Iran and her future with a man. That's you. Can you talk a little bit about that? It's kind of a really interesting to me.
Yeah, no, it is really interesting. And it's funny too, because that one and one other feature film that I produced in like end of 2018 before I went to Japan would have come out, would they be aiming to come out in 2020, but both have been sort of feeling out the waters in terms of festivals and stuff because 2020 has been the year that it had been. And they're both fairly intense subject matter. So the one you mentioned is about, yes, this woman who had originally, I suppose, immigrated at a bit of an advanced age, not older, but not teenager, like maybe 20s, from Iran, after having been a sex slave basically in Iran from the very young age. So, and they actually went, and some connections with the director and lead actress and writer and producer. She had some connections in Iran, in Tehran, and so there's footage literally freshly shot in Iran, as well as footage obviously in Canada, so intercut. And
I have a question here.
yeah.
Is this a subject that you picked up, or is this on a real story on somebody alive?
Very good question. And I think it's probably, as all fiction is, a mix.
Okay.
Like, I think it's most definitely got some, I mean, 100% that it has some truth at the base of it. And the woman who wrote it and directed it and everything, I don't think necessarily that she went through some of the things that happened in it. I really hope we didn't talk to that degree. It's extremely personal things. But she does talk about it with a great, I think, authority and awareness. And so I know that there's a lot of truth to the base of it.
Maybe she got in touch with somebody who already went through this, because this kind of a hard subject to put with entire emotions, all that kind of effect of screen, it's not very easy.
No, it's true. And
I, being a woman myself, if I imagine like, when ISIS was on peak and every other day we were seeing those brutal videos or footages on TV, it was quite, frightening and disturbing. And if somebody who has really gone through that kind of a situation, it's very hard if they come and talk to you and then you have to put on the screen. So that's where it got my attention. I said, I have to ask this guy, what was his experience and how is he taking this movie?
well, yeah, I was going to say, I mean, to your point, it's important to have some basis of experience to then go and talk about these things.
Yes.
Right? It's almost a disrespect to people who have gone through it to talk about it without having gone through it. Luckily, my character wasn't that kind of dynamic, the same exact kind of dynamic. I was younger than what they had originally been thinking for the character, so that entered a new dynamic. Though the film had a whole arc in terms of the production. We did a live script read first that we rehearsed quite a bit, and I was almost not filling in. I was playing the role in the script read, but I was younger than than the character should have been. But it went really well, and we decided to keep me on. So we even tweaked the script, and we also received a bunch of comments from the audience and stuff like that. So we were able to tweak and develop the script, and even passed the script through a few different festivals. So it was extremely interesting for me to see the whole process. And actually, after this show today, I'm going to be doing a Zoom script read with the woman who produced that film. And I'm directing a short film with her as well in the coming little while. So yeah, there's a number of other projects on the go as well. But also my character is a little bit like Bruce Wayne. You know who Bruce Wayne is?
Yep.
Who?
Come again? Okay, I heard Bruce Will. Sorry.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne. Do you know who Bruce Wayne is?
No. Maybe
He's
by
Batman.
face.
He's Batman.
Oh, okay. That's a good-looking one.
Yeah, and he's a rich guy, and he's got a bit of a dark past. My characters often are sort of, nice looking on the outside and maybe even rich, but they have some sort of something behind them, whether it be a darkness or whether it be another kind of secret, sort of like Batman.
Yeah.
So this character fits, I think, quite right in that. He's this rich character, but he's lost his mom. And my mom was extremely important for me, and so it's not that hard for me to imagine, what it would feel like to lose someone that close. I have my very best friend also who lost his mom, and she was like a mom to me. And moms are so critical and so important.
Yes.
So that was able to bring me into the moment. And we had this scene where my mom's in it, and the woman who played my mom even continues. She just had that one scene, but she continues to write me from time to time, thinking about my son, kind of thing. Like we just zoned so much in that one scene.
That's such a wonderful feeling.
Yeah, no, it was lovely. It's obviously lovely to have people out there who care about your progress and touch base from time to time. So yeah, I'll stop there.
There's another one which caught my attention was that Thirsty. The quirky and super fun story of two awesome girls getting through some tough moments. What is your role into that? What do you
The name of it?
Thirsty.
Oh, wait, Thirsty? Oh, wait, yeah. 30?
It's written on your webpage, Thirsty.
Uh-oh,
The
that could
quirky
be a
and super
typo.
fun story of two awesome girls getting through some tough moments.
Yep, that's a typo. Thank you for pointing that out. It's not called Thirsty. It's called 30. So I'll have to fix that. Oh, it's 30 something. I don't know. I'll have to check that out. Thank you for pointing that out. But yeah, no, that's a really cool film too. Thank you for reminding me about that. It's been a little while. I've touched base with the director a few times, and they say progress is being made. And in that one, I play the boyfriend of one of the two main girls, and those two girls wrote the film together. And so it's really a labor of love. Their husband one of the girls' husbands directed and DP'd it, which is an interesting mixture, which means director of photography. So he not only said where the camera would point, but how it would be lit and all that. So he took on a lot of responsibility. And it's a really sort of inspiring story about these two girls and their experiences. And I'm obviously, as the boyfriend of the one, fairly involved in that.
That's what I thought. Are you romancing with one girl, or is he romancing with both the girls in the movie? I have to find out.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's their story. It's very much their story. May I say, I guess I'm really glad in this time of Black Lives Matter and so many interesting movements of women as well as people of color and indigenous peoples and all kinds of things, that I'm able to be a white male as an actor and play secondary roles. And that's a-okay. My gosh, what's the problem? And so to be able to play a lead sometimes, but then also sometimes a role that supports someone, and I'm particularly interested in those when it is a person of color or a woman. And so, yes, the two movies you've pointed out have been really good examples of that kind of opportunity. And I'm really glad for that.
Wish you very, very best of all the adventures that you're doing. And I'm actually looking forward for these two movies because they caught my attention. I said, oh, this is something interesting that this guy is doing. I have to see this. Okay, what's with your venture in Japan? What are you doing in Japan?
Japan is all over, although I was somewhat up finally as the COVID. I mean, I find people are calling it the COVID. It's become the COVID. Like the name of it has evolved, obviously in myriad ways. But since, well, when COVID was happening, I considered the possibility of going back to Japan to do what I had done. But that's not possible anymore. Basically, and actually it's sort of confidential. I'm not really allowed to say what I was because I was a performer at Universal Studios theme park.
Wow.
And one of my big lines was, "I'll be back." And that's all I'll say, I think. That's the only clue I'll give. But I also was a robot underneath the skin. That's it. That's all I'll give as clues.
You're giving me enough. You're giving my audience enough.
Yes, I did that for a year. That was a year contract. It was an exceptional experience, and I learned Japanese and everything. And as I say, I was considering the possibility of going back, but it's all over. It's closed. The show that I was in is closed. Universal is having obviously some issues, as everything is with COVID. If they're open at all, they're allowed like 50% of the people that usually come in, which obviously is a significant loss in income in that.
Yeah.
I threw out as well to Disney in LA to potentially, I'm told from time to time, although I don't think it's entirely true, but there's some truth to the fact that I have a bit of a resemblance to Benedict Cumberbatch.
You reminded me of that guy who acted long back when I was a teenager in Dirty Dancing.
Oh, that's, yeah. Patrick Swayze.
Yes, we've
My
lost
dad
him,
used to-
he's no more. But I was a teenager in my school time, and I mean, even younger than that, I believe. And I watched that movie, and I was like, whoa, what a dancing skill, and what a great actor. So when I saw you, I said, is he incarnation? Is he back again?
My dad used to get that when he was younger, actually. So yeah, no, that's true. Not entirely untrue. But I threw out to play potentially Doctor Strange at the Disney theme park. But it's true that, I mean, I think it's more interesting as an actor to play your own characters, right? To create new characters, as opposed to playing characters that have already existed and that people are very familiar with. So that's why I would love to go to Disney in LA. I love Disney as such. I just got Disney Plus last night. It's awesome.
So if given a choice, where would you love to go? Japan, India, Disney, LA, where?
Well, I'll say that I'm very, very, very glad to have been in places, a little all over. And I'd like to continue going to different places.
Very different.
LA, I think, is the best place. I don't know. But I mean, all the places are flipping amazing. The Earth is an amazing place. It's fascinating. And when someone says, "Oh, I don't like Paris. I had a horrible time in Paris," I'm like, yeah, okay, you might have had a horrible time, but it's still a fascinating place, and you could have had an incredible time. It could have happened that way too. So I can't even say it's good or bad.
I have to say, you're a wonderful actor and a very good diplomatic person as well. What a diplomatic answer you gave. You love all the places you want to go. And my question was very straight. What place would you choose? You combine all the places in that question.
Well, I hope that other people also get the opportunity to go elsewhere and see the world and exchange with each other. And it's so amazing when you see people who are from countries that you wouldn't necessarily expect to have traveled. We expect Germans and Australians and British and American people don't necessarily travel, but they do.
Yes.
But to see someone from Africa who is going on a trip, or to see someone from Asia or from India who's going on a trip, I'd like to see more of that. I think we need to see more and more of that, and more exchanges on more and more equal bases, which sort of interacts with your previous Brexit conversation just a little bit. But we need to go in the direction of more and more sharing.
cultural exchange is very important, and that's what even I tell my daughters as well.
Yeah, Bollywood, Nollywood, all these
Yes.
different cinemas too. I'd love to participate in those and have to some degree.
Wonderful. One last question? How did you celebrate your holidays?
Well, I mean, along with everyone, I wasn't like these ministers in Ontario, and there's a few ministers, I think, around the world who've not respected their own rules. I did not do that.
They were very as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but we did everything. We did all the different Zoom experiences you can do, such as, I mean, we had a very intimate, teary-eyed, immediate family Christmas. There was tears because we couldn't have everyone around. My mom was literally in tears, and it sort of brought tears in my eyes. But we did a Zoom call with extended family. We went and did a little quick porch visit where we went for a walk with my grandfather. We did a visit through the window at my senior's residence where my grandmother lives and grandfather. So we did all the little sort of check boxes of a 2020 Zoom window visit, porch visit, family Christmas.
That's very nice. So you had a very safe and a cheerful Christmas and New Year's holiday. That is very, very nice. And I hope everybody follows this. We all have to eventually take care of ourselves, our neighbors, our family members, each and everyone around us. Yes,
absolutely. And I was talking to actually our minister. I'm getting involved somewhat with the Liberal Party in my local area, federally though. And I was talking to the minister, and my question for him was, with this vaccine, one, has it been tested on elderly people and vulnerable people so that it doesn't impact them negatively when they're given it first? But two, are we getting ready already, and this was before it even came out, to share it with the world and to make sure that vulnerable populations around the world and countries that aren't going to necessarily be able to secure an immediate access to it also get access. So I think that's an important role that Canada can play in the world to ensure that vaccine is shared with the world.
Yes, it is, because Canada, what I read in the papers and other country news as well, that Canada has acquired a pretty good amount of vaccination, a big chunk from all these manufacturers, pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, and we are a country obviously that can and sort of had to anyways, because it's the winter time, isolate.
Yes.
But there are countries like India, for example, that has a much harder time isolating, and obviously much greater population and everything. So, we need solidarity among the countries. COVID was an opportunity to bring people together. It didn't always do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it even tore us apart.
Yes, it
But
did.
it can't do that in the end. It can't end like that.
In the end, we all have to be strong and face it together.
Together, apart,
Yes. So that was Sean with us. It was wonderful chatting with you, Sean. I wish you all the very best for all your future endeavors. And I hope to see you in the coming time.
Yes, thank you very much for inviting me and involving me in your amazing shows. It was really interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Do leave a comment when you see this later on. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful day.
Have a lovely day yourself.
Okay, that was Sean, a very good-looking, talented actor from North America. And let's have Mr. Rai. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Very good morning, and a very happy New Year to you, Mr. Rai.
To you. Same to you.
Can you place your camera a little bit above so that I can have that angle? You have to lift the camera a little up.
More up?
Yep.
Like this?
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, so that viewers can see your face clearly,
Okay. I think I have to hold it then. Hold on a second.
Okay, let's play the video in the meantime, and you take it up. That was right. Grandmaster Taekwondo. Hello, we have Malika Sotinathan from New Delhi live. Oh, hello, Malika.
Hey, well, thank you so much, Ekta, for doing this show, and thank you and welcome, Master Rai. There's a power outage here, so I went through also all disconnection and everything. But the willingness to connect should be there. I think technology does not come as a barrier; it comes as a boon, and we are learning to adapt. That's what COVID has taught us. But Master Rai, I'm so happy to see you. Thank you for coming to our show, and there's such wonderful moments with Master Rai who builds character. That's what I can see in my child, and I see many other children who are disciples of Master Rai across the globe. It's not
Yes,
just Canada.
I have a lot of questions to ask Mr. Rai. Mr. Rai, how has your journey been from Nepal to Hong Kong to Canada? From last 20 plus years, you are living in Canada and teaching children all over. How has your journey been here?
Actually, I cannot give to. It's not very clear for me. Anyway, so thank you very much for having me in your show. You mean how long I've been in Canada? Or
No, I said, how has your journey been from Nepal to Hong Kong and now to Canada from last 20 plus years?
because when I was young man, I always wanted to travel the world, always move around somewhere else. So fortunately, in 1999, I got the opportunity to come to Canada. Since then, I am doing this taekwondo at the YMCA, Mississauga. Uh, that's what I want to say.
Okay, what is you've been winning a lot of titles and competitions throughout your life. What has been your biggest achievement according to you?
Yeah, since I started my taekwondo in 1980, so I wanted to do something in martial arts, but I didn't know where I was going. But then when I got my black belt, after that I started joining for my competition. So I competed in Hong Kong, I competed in Nepal. That my big achievement was 10th Asian Game 1986. That is for historical medal for Nepal. I got a bronze medal from there. And second, another big achievement was 1999 South Asian Game, which is eight South Asian Game. So I got a gold medal there. As you see that our late King Dipendra Bir Vikram Shadev is giving me the medal while I was receiving. I think that was my the big achievement in Taekwondo. Yeah.
Congratulations on that. That is really, really wonderful. And I keep I send you all the best wishes that you keep winning more and more titles till the
Yeah.
when you
You
were a
know,
kid, did you ever thought of becoming a grandmaster?
I actually, I never thought about it. I never thought about it. I grew up in village, and then where there's no taekwondo martial arts opportunity back home in Nepal. Actually, I'm from Nepal, but at that time we didn't have the opportunity to learn any martial arts because that time, one feudalism, whatever. I'm not gonna say feudalism, but that time that Panchayati Vyavastha was there, which is the monarch was ruling. At that time, no one can learn martial arts, so that was banned for the public. But police force, I think they used to learn karate and then aikido. Um, then I saw some of the policemen was doing karate, so I wanted to do it, but I could not get that opportunity. So then 1980 I came to Hong Kong, and then from there I started my taekwondo journey.
Very,
Yeah.
very nice. Okay, I have to show her something. When I was a girl, I mean, when I was a young girl, not a girl, of course, I'm a woman, I'm a girl. I'm grown up now. When I was in my teenage, my father arranged a instructor who used to come to my place, and I learned Kanpo karate for a very long time. And I did also attend one of the competition, but I use that in practical life on my brothers, not even outside.
That's okay. That's okay.
So, did you ever got an opportunity to use your skill helping somebody like that Bollywood star or a Hollywood Batman kind of a thing?
Me?
Yep.
Oh, I never thought about that. The people, we always try to do things, but we don't know that how much strength we have. But slowly, I understand that when I start getting a medal, bronze medal, because I started taekwondo. At least it's called a little late age. I mean, if you see that kid start from 4 or 5 years, and I started from my taekwondo 19. You see, it's very hard. But I was a athlete before. I was a athletic person, so it didn't take me to learn much faster. So it takes. I did
No, but did you practice on the
well
outside
in
world?
taekwondo. So
I'll comment on that,
yeah,
Ekta, 1 second. That's why I wanted to talk to on this thing.
Of
Master
course, of
yeah,
Rai
course.
is a very, very humble person. Okay, he is he's a grand master actually. So we didn't
oh,
even know that when we brought our little son, and the way he encourages people, right? Anybody, like it doesn't matter. He will encourage you so much that you will feel like a champion in his class, and and he has done it. I have seen not only he's not talking much about his son Satish, whom he has groomed very, and he's also our, I think, one of our national champions, and his daughter has taken taekwondo, and and he's a
yeah,
huge name in Nepal. People know him for taekwondo, and even in the Nepalese community in Canada. So, Master, please do say something about the effect that you do with the community, and how, especially, I know I met you through YMCA, so he starts right at the grassroots level. I think that's a huge thing, especially now with COVID and we are all stuck in the houses. How are you continuing to inspire all your students and everything?
yeah.
Master,
Actually,
can you hear me? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. As you said that, well, I was in 2002, 2013. We used to compete in Ontario Taekwondo Association. My son is a Canadian champion too. I made him. So few my other students got a gold in national and then Ontario. However, yes, we are doing okay because we are planning to run our online class soon. Um, because of this dynamic, we are talking about it. This is a organized, but we are planning to do our because we are calling few people how they are doing. So we are waiting for that pandemic go away, and then soon we'll start. But if there's an open, we might do our online class. As a actor asking me question as a actor, so I later on I thought now I think about it, but I'm too young I think to go for the Hollywood Bollywood. But I did a movie back home, which is that was in 22 years before. And then now I just last year's I finished one movie.
I was just going to
It
ask you
is
that only. You
under
acted in a movie recently.
yeah under construction. I am an extra Toronto extra member of Toronto, Canada. So yeah, hopefully in future I will try my best for this acting also. But main thing is my martial arts. Yeah, I will be teaching until I can. Thanks.
And as I said, he's a character builder. So with I'm bringing up my son. He's 20 years now, Master I. We know you for now last 10, more than 10 years, and you have been one of the biggest teacher that he had in his life. So he said a special thank you, Naren said, and he said he was so happy that you were coming to the show, and he said he today what he is. he has learned the discipline from you. Thank you.
He is a very good boy. He used to do he actually entered into our tournament team too. But unfortunately, he stopped doing competition in YMCA because we focus for more recreational than elite. So that's why he stopped it. But I always remember he was a very dedicated boy. So thank you for bringing Naren with me, Malika. So I
Yes,
always
Naren
appreciate
is
you
a
guys
very, very,
putting
very,
in.
very nice boy. I met him personally, and a very good mama's boy. He's been raised up very, very well, very disciplined, and he talks so sensible at such a tender young age. I was really touched. He's a wonderful boy. Thank you so much, Mr. Rai, for coming on our show and giving us all this information. And wish you very, very best for your upcoming project. Hope to see you more on the screen.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
I
you very
wish you all the
much.
best for your uh,
Thank you.
project. Well, okay. Stay safe and be happy. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
So, Malika, what are you doing back home in India? What do you have
Oh
for?
God, I thought I won't make it today. Suddenly there was a huge sound, and then we lost the power.
Wow.
Right now, I don't have power. I am totally on reserve phone battery, and I'm talking to you. But as I said, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yay! I'm very delighted to see you. After all, this is our show. Try to come as much possible as you can. So let's have the video, what you shot there at Delhi border with farmers.
ਅਸੀਂ ਜੀ ਫਿਰੋਜ਼ਪੁਰ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਤੋਂ ਆਏ ਹਾਂ। ਜ਼ਿਲ੍ਹਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਫਿਰੋਜ਼ਪੁਰ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਸੰਘਰਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਧੱਕਾ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੋਦੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਦੇ ਬਰਖਲਾਫ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਏ ਹਾਂ। ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਮੀਦ ਸੀਗੀ ਲੈ ਮਨ ਕੀ ਬਾਤ ਜਦੋਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਮੋਦੀ ਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਨਾ ਕੁਝ ਕਿਸਾਨਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਰੂਗਾ ਚੰਗਾ, ਪਰ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਵੀ ਉਹਨੇ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਾ। ਅਤੇ ਉਹਦੀਆਂ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਨੀਤੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਉਹ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਮਾਰੂ ਹੈ। ਅਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸੇ ਗੱਲ ਤੋਂ ਅੱਜ ਕਾਫੀ ਦਿਨ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਆ, ਕਦੇ ਪਿੰਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ 10 ਜਣੇ ਆ ਗਏ, ਕਦੇ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਟੋਲੀਆਂ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਮੇਂ ਤੋਂ। ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਸੰਘਰਸ਼ ਬੜਾ 2-3 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਚੱਲਿਆ, ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਬੜੇ ਦਿਨ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਆ। ਅਤੇ ਇਹ ਹੁਣ ਸਿਰ ਧੜ ਦੀ ਬਾਜੀ ਆ ਲੱਗਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਕੰਮ ਗੱਲ ਬਣੀ ਖੜੀ ਆ ਜੀ। ਜਾਂ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਹਟੂਗੀ ਅਤੇ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਹਟ ਕੇ ਖੁਸ਼। ਸਰਕਾਰ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਵੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ ਉਹਦੀ ਆਕੜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਆ ਵਾਪਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈਣੇ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਗੇ। ਜੋ ਟਰੂਡੋ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਕਿਸਾਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੱਕ 'ਚ ਕਿਹਾ ਜੀ, ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ, ਉਹਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ। ਸਾਰੇ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਹੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਤਾਰੀਫ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਆ ਹਰੇਕ ਥਾਂ 'ਤੇ।
ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਭਾਈਚਾਰਾ ਬੈਠਾ ਜੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਰਿਸਪੌਂਸ ਮਿਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੀ। ਉਹ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਕਿ NRI ਵੀਰ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਹਰ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਮਦਦ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਜੀ। ਕੋਈ ਰਾਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੀ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਵੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹੋ ਜੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਮਦਦ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਜੀ। ਅਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਆਪਦੇ NRI ਭਰਾਵਾਂ ਦਾ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਇਹ ਅੰਦੋਲਨ ਸਫਲ ਹੋਊਗਾ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਉਮੀਦ ਆ ਕਿ ਕੁਛ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਤੱਕ ਹੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਬਾਜੀ ਜਿੱਤ ਕੇ ਮੁੜਾਂਗੇ। ਵਾਪਸ ਖਾਲੀ ਹੱਥ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਈ। ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਬਸ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੱਕੇ ਮੋਰਚੇ ਲਾਏ ਆ। ਜੇ ਮੋਦੀ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਝੁਕਣਾ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਹੁਣ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੰਗਾ ਗਲਤ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਪੈ ਗਿਆ। ਅਸੀਂ ਜੇਕਰ ਸਹੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਸਹੀ ਆ ਜੀ। ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਦੀ ਕਿਰਤ ਕਮਾਈ ਕਰਕੇ ਰੋਟੀ ਖਾਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਆ ਜੀ। ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਆ ਜੀ, ਕਿਸਾਨ ਅੰਨਦਾਤਾ ਜੀ। ਆਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਜੀ, ਇੱਧਰ ਵੇਖੋ, ਨਿਗਾਹ ਮਾਰੋ ਸੜਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ। ਸਰਦੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਦਾ ਦਿਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਕਿ ਐਵੇਂ ਆਪਦਾ ਘਰ-ਬਾਰ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਸੜਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਤੁਰਿਆ ਫਿਰੇ ਜੀ। ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੱਕਾ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਖਮਿਆਜਾ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਭੁਗਤਣਾ ਹੀ ਪਊਗਾ। ਆਲ ਵਰਲਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੋਦੀ ਦੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਹਾਨੀ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਕੰਟਰੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਜਾਊਗਾ, ਸਾਡੇ NRI ਭਰਾ ਬੈਠੇ ਆ, ਉਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਲੀਆਂ ਝੰਡੀਆਂ ਦਿਖਾਉਣਗੇ ਜੀ। ਬਾਕੀ ਹੁਣ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ। ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਡਾਨੀ ਅਬਾਨੀ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲੇ ਵਿਗਿਆ ਵਿਆ, ਕਿਸਾਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਚਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ, ਤੇ ਕਿਸਾਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਗੱਲੋਂ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਟਣਾ ਜੀ। ਸਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜੱਟ ਜ਼ਮੀਂਦਾਰ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਹੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲੇ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਜੀ। ਹੋਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਕੋਈ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸਮੈਨ ਬੰਦੇ ਆ। ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਰੋਟੀ ਖਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਜੀ। ਇੱਕ ਬੰਦਾ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਆਪਦੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਪਾਲਦਾ ਜੀ। जेकर साड़ी ज़मीन ही चलेगी तो साढ़े को की रह जूगा जी।
जो किसान है यहाँ पे सिर्फ पंजाब से नहीं है,
हरियाणा, मध्य प्रदेश, महाराष्ट्र और गुजरात से भी और यूपी से भी आए हुए हैं यहाँ पे। और मतलब ये कोई वो नहीं है कि सिर्फ पंजाब से हैं। हाँ, शुरुआत पंजाब से ज़रूर हुई है। पंजाब से आज से नहीं, 3 महीने पहले से हम वहाँ पे धरने लगा रहे हैं। तब किसी मीडिया ने किसी ने कुछ कवर नहीं किया। मतलब जो हमारे वहाँ, हाँ, जो मतलब हमारे खुद के थे, पंजाब के थे, वो मतलब अपना यूट्यूब चैनल्स पे जो भी उनका था वो वहाँ दिखा रहे थे, पर जो नेशनल मीडिया को वहाँ नहीं कुछ दिखा। तो इसीलिए फिर पंजाब ने कि जो भी मतलब वहाँ हमारे आगू थे, तो उन्होंने कहा कि हम दिल्ली चलते हैं, वहाँ जाके हमारी सुनी जाएगी। यहाँ आके जब हमने मतलब अपना दिखाया, रोष दिखाया, तो और भी मतलब स्टेट से जो किसान थे वो हमारे साथ आकर साथ खड़े हैं। बिल्कुल नहीं तो अगर ना होते तो इतना बड़ा सफल ना होता ये।
ਦੂਜਾ ਮੋਦੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡਾ ਇਸੇ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਪੰਗਾ ਜੀ। ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੀਡੀਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਕੇ ਨਿਰਪੱਖ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾਓਗੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੱਖ ਦੱਸੋਗੇ, ਵੇਖੋਗੇ, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰੋਗੇ, ਫੇਰ ਹੀ ਕੁਝ ਨਾ ਕੁਝ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਊਗਾ। ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੋਦੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਆ, ਇਹ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਬੰਦ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਉੱਥੇ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਨਾ ਜਾਵੇ। ਜੋ ਵੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਨਾ ਜੀ ਸੰਘਰਸ਼ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਾ ਲੱਗੇ। ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਬਾਕੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਮਿਹਰਬਾਨੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਦੀ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਅੰਦੋਲਨ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਿਆ। ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੋਦੀ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਜੀ, ਇਹਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਸਾਡੇ ਵੱਲ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ। 4 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਅੰਦੋਲਨ ਚੱਲੀ ਗਿਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਾ। ਜਦੋਂ ਹੁਣ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਲੋਕ ਇੱਥੇ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਗਏ ਆ, ਹੁਣ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ। ਇੱਥੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਕਿਸਾਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵੱਲ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਤੇ ਮੂਰਖ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਬਿੱਲ ਸਹੀ ਆ। ਹੁਣ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਆ ਜੀ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਪਦੇ ਕੰਮ ਦਾ ਹਰੇਕ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ। ਹੁਣ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੀ ਰਹਿਣ ਦਿਓ, ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈਣਾ ਦੇਣਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਬਿੱਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ। ਤੇ ਮੋਦੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੇ ਇਹੀ ਮੰਗ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਛੇਤੀ ਹੋ ਸਕੇ ਉਹ ਹਜੇ ਵੀ ਆਪਦੀ ਗਲਤੀ ਮੰਨ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਆਪਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਾਲੇ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਆ ਵਾਪਸ ਲੈ ਲੈਣ। ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਹੁਣ ਜੱਟਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਹਟਣਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਈ, ਤੇ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਬਸ ਹੋ ਹੀ ਜਾਣਗੇ।
मैम ये जो कह रहे हैं ना, मतलब जो मीडिया है ये, इसका बहुत बड़ा रोल है, मतलब आपको ही पता है। तो वो मतलब दोनों चीज़ें दिखाने के बजाय कि मतलब एक ये पक्ष है और एक ये पक्ष है, वो अपनी जजमेंट्स दे रहे हैं कि ये हैं। कोई हमें मतलब चलो पता ही आपको, कोई आतंकवादी कह रहा है, कोई मतलब नक्सलवादी कह रहा है, कोई मतलब मार्क्सिस्ट कह रहा है। मतलब हमें उस चीज़ से मतलब जोड़ा जा रहा है बेफालतू। पता नहीं उनके दिमाग में क्या है, वो मतलब सरकार को सिद्ध करना चाह रहे हैं बिल्कुल अपना। और वो कह रहे हैं, एक मतलब मैं सुन रहा था, वो सुधीर चौधरी नाम का है, मतलब काफ़ी बड़ा पत्रकार, वो कह रहा था कि मतलब जो है किसान मतलब हम ये अपने दम पे मतलब इतना बड़ा आंदोलन कर नहीं सकते, और ये मतलब सोशल मीडिया पे जो चल रहा है ये अपने दम पे नहीं कर सकते। मतलब ये इतना पढ़ा लिखा नहीं है। मैं PhD कर रहा हूँ, मैं भी यहाँ पे हूँ क्योंकि हमारे भी ज़मीन है, हमारे फादर साहब भी खेती करते हैं, तो हम भी मतलब हमारा भी ये फ़र्ज़ है कि हम सपोर्ट करें। ये नहीं है कि मतलब ट्विटर ये BJP IT सेल कोई चलाना आ रहा है, हम भी चलाते हैं ट्विटर, हर तरह का मतलब सोशल मीडिया हम यूज़ करते हैं। और कोई इसमें वो नहीं है कि कोई गलत आदमी घुस गए हैं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। ये हमें पता है कि बिल क्या है। तीनों बिल मैंने पढ़े हुए हैं अच्छी तरह से। जो कह रहे हैं कि किसी ने पढ़े हैं बिल, ये वो मतलब करना चाह रहा, मतलब कोई डिबेट करना है उस पर, तो हमारे पास सीधा आ जाए वो मतलब। और एक बात ये मतलब जो पता नहीं उनको ये खबरें पहुँच रही हैं कि नहीं, ये बॉर्डर पर क्या हो रहा है, नहीं तो वो अपना मतलब या तो उनके मतलब जो हैं अंदर जो सेल हैं बहुत बेकार हैं, मतलब सरकार के जो उनको बिल्कुल सही खबर नहीं दे रहे। अगर वो अपने कोई बढ़िया मतलब मंत्री को भेजे यहाँ पे, देखें आगे हो क्या रहा है, अंदर कौन से लोग बैठे हैं, क्या चाह रहे हैं, मतलब किसी और चीज़ से जोड़ने का बिल्कुल मतलब नहीं है अपना। मतलब वो हमारा तो ये है, क्योंकि मैम देखो हमारे भी ये है कि फ्री नहीं है, हम भी 1 मिनट का टाइम नहीं है। हम मतलब हमें कोई शौक नहीं है कि हम यहाँ मतलब ठंड में आके मरें, सड़कों पे घूम रहे हैं, हमें पता नहीं कहाँ जाना है, सुबह के हम भौंक रहे हैं इधर उधर, खाना 40 किसानों की मौत हो रही है। किसी को मतलब ये नहीं है कि हमें शौक है यहाँ पे आके मरने का, हम बढ़िया रोटी खा रहे हैं अपनी, और हमें जीने दो बस। हम तो यही कहना चाह रहे हैं मतलब सरकार से।
ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੰਨ ਲਓ NRI ਭਰਾ ਸਾਰੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਲੋਕ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਹੁਣ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬਾਹਰੋਂ ਫੰਡਿੰਗ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਬਾਹਰਲੇ ਭੇਜਦੇ ਆ, ਐਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਜੀ ਉਹ, ਪਰ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹ ਸਖਤ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਮਿਹਨਤਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਇੰਨੀ ਕਰਕੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਮੰਨ ਲਓ ਵੀ ਭੇਜਦੇ। ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਭਰਾ ਗਿਆ, ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਚਾਚਾ ਗਿਆ, ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਤਾਇਆ ਗਿਆ, ਵੀ ਮੰਨ ਲਓ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਕੱਠਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਫੰਡ ਭੇਜਦੇ। ਇੱਥੇ NRI ਵੀਰ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਤਰਾਜ ਦੇ, ਪਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ।
ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਇਹੀ ਆ ਜੀ, ਬਸ ਅੰਨਦਾਤਾ ਦਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਣ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਬਿੱਲ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਾਪਸ ਲਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ। ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ NRI ਵੀਰ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫੇਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਇਹੀ ਆ कि इत्थों ਦੀਆਂ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਸਰਕਾਰਾਂ ਸਭ फेल हो चुकी हैं।
सिर्फ पंजाब और हरियाणा में है MSP,
और मतलब सरकारी खरीद होती है, सरकार को यही है कि पहले जिन स्टेट में एमएसपी नहीं है, जैसे कि बिहार है, यूपी है, उन स्टेट में कम से कम 10-15 साल में ये जो ऑर्डिनेंस के जो रिजल्ट हैं वो हमें दिखा दे कि किसान बहुत खुशहाल है। उनके जो किसान हैं बिहार के या यूपी के, वो पंजाब में आके अपनी फसलें बेचते हैं। अगर वहाँ ये होता मतलब कि जो सरकारी खरीद कामयाब नहीं है या कोई प्राइवेटाइजेशन वहाँ पे कामयाब होती, तो वो यहाँ बेचने क्यों आते? तो हमें वहाँ एक बार कामयाब करके दिखा दें कि भाई यहाँ के किसान बहुत खुशहाल हैं। अब ये मॉडल देखो हमारा, हमने ये एक एग्जांपल दे दी, तो आप इसे अपनाओ, तो हम फिर देखेंगे एक बार एक सारे हम सारे देश को मतलब ये जो कानून है ये एक बार लागू ना करें, जिसमें जैसे बिहार और यूपी जैसे स्टेट्स हैं वहाँ पे एक बार कामयाब करके दिखा दें हमें। ये
ਸਾਡੀ ਹੱਥ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ, ਆਪਣੇ ਕਾਲੇ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਵਾਪਸ ਲੈ ਲਓ ਜੀ, ਇਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਹਨ। ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਆਪਣੀ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਕਰਕੇ ਖਾਂਦੇ, ਕਿਸੇ ਤੋਂ ਮੰਗ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਾਂਦੇ।
Hi.